Hotkey Books presents STAGS 2, Dogs, written by M.A. Bennett and read by Lucy Dixon. Keep listening after the end of the audiobook for an exclusive sample from STAGS 3, Foxes. Let him but look, and read, he may be saved by thy book. To Ben Jonson's Ghost, William Cavendish. Act 1. Scene 1. So, when someone's dead, they're supposed to stay dead, right? Well, that's what I thought. I certainly didn't think I was going to be seeing Henry de Wallencourt again, but it turned out I was wrong. Everyone in the hospital keeps telling me that there's this thing called the anniversary effect. It's when you start getting visions or flashbacks a year after a traumatic event. In my case, Justitian weekend a year ago at Longcross and Henry's suicide. Okay, death. Apparently, the anniversary opens up the neurological floodgates. Now, I know all about the anniversary effect. I watch Stranger Things, but this isn't that. I know what I saw. There's lots of other stuff before we get to the exceptionally weird bit, though, so I'm going to pick up the story exactly where I left off. Justitian of my last year at STAGS. Because it annoys the shit out of me when stories are supposed to be sequels and then it's like, 3 years later. I mean, what the hell is that? I'm going to tell you what happened in the second half of that autumn term. God, was it really only 6 weeks ago? Right after the chapel service, right after we broke up for Justitian, right after I'd figured out that the abbot was the Grand Master of the Order of the Stag, a freaky, people-hunting cult, hell-bent on maintaining some archaic social order. So, here goes. As soon as I told Shafine and Nell what I had to say, the three of us went straight to see the abbot. We strode through the ancient quads of the school, all hyped up and ready for confrontation. We decided to challenge the abbot with his crimes. A pretty crazy idea on reflection, since we now knew he was murderer-in-chief. Were we crazy? Probably, but still, we hurried through those sunlit courts. Stags looked beautiful and deadly in the autumn light. There was nothing modern to be seen, and only the distant howl of an ambulance siren and a flash of blue streaking along the Annick Road reminded us that there was even a savage world out there at all. I shivered despite the sun. Ambulances and blue lights brought back the last night at Longcross. Henry falling backwards into space, the roar of the waterfall drowning the sound of his body breaking on the rocks below, his ruined form in a body bag being filed away neatly into the back of an ambulance. It was time for all this to end. But when we entered the abbot's study, the abbot wasn't there. Friar Ridley was sitting behind the desk. Talk about the wind being taken out of our sails. Friar Ridley was okay. He taught English and drama, and as they were two of my subjects, I knew him a little bit, even though the term was only 6 weeks old. He was tall and had curling dark hair and green eyes. He looked a lot like that guy from Batman vs Superman. Not Batman. Superman. Henry Cavill. I wondered how the three of us looked to him. Solemn Indian guy, perfect Barbie princess, and me in the middle, all dark bob and bangs like some manga Joan of Arc. He nodded at the others, but he knew me well enough to greet me by my name. Greer, he said. What can I do for you? We all sat down, uninvited, in the chairs across from him. We sat in the exact same configuration as when we told the abbot all about the medievals last year. What chumps we'd been. To give the abbot warning so he could cover up for his evil little minions, the medievals, and ship them off to Oxbridge before we could act. I raised my chin. We were the medievals now. We were at the top of the school, and we were going to get to the bottom of this right now. We want to talk to the abbot. I was ready to be asked why. I was ready to say because he's the head of an evil, child-killing cult. But Friar Ridley didn't ask me why. In fact, he said something quite different. Ah, he said, looking down at his long fingers on the blotter. I'm afraid that won't be possible. Why not? Asked Shafine, all belligerent. Because he's on his way to Annick Cottage Hospital. He was taken ill after Justitian Mass. What's wrong?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?